Question number 5. Show that in bracket -1 plus root 3 I whole cube is a real number. Fifth one. Question is -1 plus root 3 I whole cube. Okay. Now see. By using formula -1 cube plus 3 minus 1 square into root 3 I plus 3 times -1 into root 3 I whole square plus root 3 I whole cube. -1 cube is -1 plus -1 square is +1, so it becomes 3 root 3 I. Here it becomes -3 into root 3 square is a 3, I square is -1 plus root 3 cube is a 3 root 3, I cube is a minus I. So this becomes -1 plus 3 root 3 I minus minus plus 9. This becomes -3 root 3 I. This plus and minus term cancels, and here is -1 plus 9 is a 8, and this is real number. Okay, this fifth one. Now sixth, find the value of this term. The term is simply 3 plus 2 upon I in another bracket I raised to 6 minus I raised to 7 1 plus I raised to 11. So we can solve this like this: 3 plus 2 upon I, multiply and divide by I. I can write down this like I raised to 4 into I square minus I raised to 4 into I cube. Here 1 plus I raised to 4 square into I cube. This is the expansion of I raised to 11. So this becomes 3 plus 2I, I into I minus 1, I square is minus 1. Here it becomes 1 into minus 1, 1 into minus I. Okay, then here it becomes 1 plus 1, 1 square into minus of I. Okay, here we are using the formula I square equal to -1 and I cube. Okay, three formulas basically we are using. I square is -1, I cube is minus I, and I raised to 4 is equal to 1. Okay, so here we can write down that this is a square like this. Now this becomes 3 minus 2I. Okay, this becomes -1. Here this becomes plus I. Here it is 1 minus I. Now see, this is 3 minus 2I. If I take minus outside, this becomes 1 minus I, and this is also 1 minus I. So this is minus 3 minus 2I, 1 minus I whole square. 3 minus 2I, expansion of this is 1 minus 2I plus I square. This becomes minus 3 minus 2I into 1 minus 2I minus 1. Again here we are using I square is simply minus 1. So plus 1 minus 1 get cancelled. Remains minus 3 minus 2I into minus 2I. This minus minus become plus, and this 2I gets multiplied with this. So this becomes, okay, so I will write down this like this: 2I, 3 minus 2I, minus minus plus. So this becomes 6I minus 4i square. So this becomes 6i minus 4 into minus 1, because I square is simply minus 1. Okay, this is 6i plus 4. So this is 4 plus 6i. And this is the answer. Seventh one. Evaluate the following. Okay. So before that, I will write down here. Simply remember, I square is minus 1. I cube is a minus I, because this is I square into I. So I square is a minus 1. And I raised to 4 is a 1. I'm going to use these things. Now, first one, I raised to 35. I raised to 35. I can write down I raised to 4 into 8. 4 8 is a 32 into I cube. So this becomes 1 raised to 8 into I cube is a minus I. I cube is a minus I. So this becomes minus of I. Second, I raised to 8 8 8. So this becomes I raised to 4 raised to 2 2 2. So this becomes 1 to the power 2 2 2. It's simply 1. Now third one, I raised to 93. So this becomes I raised to 4. 4 2 is 8 and 4 3 is 12. Okay, 23, 1 remaining. So this becomes into I. So this becomes 1 raised to 23 into I. So this becomes simply I. Fourth one, I raised to 116. So I raised to 4. Okay, 4 2 is 8, 4 9 is 36. So this becomes 1 raised to 29. 1 raised to something is a 1. Now fifth, I raised to 403. Okay, this becomes I raised to 4 raised to 100 into I cube. So this becomes 1 raised to 100. I cube is a minus I. So the answer is minus I. Now sixth one, 1 upon I raised to 58. So this is simply I raised to minus 58. This is I raised to 4 raised to minus 4 ones are 4 and 4 fours are 16 into I raised to minus 2. 14 fours are 56. Minus 56 minus 2 is minus 58. So we can write down this like this: 1 raised to minus 14 into I raised to I square raised to minus 1. So this becomes 1 into I square is a minus 1 raised to minus 1. This is simply 1 upon, okay, this is simply 1 upon minus 1, means this is minus 1. Okay, you can simplify here and then you can write down the answer. I made it a little bit of complicated, so I will simplify in other way. See, here I am going to what do. This is simply I raised to 4 raised to 14 into I square. So this becomes 1 upon 1 raised to 14 into minus 1. This is simply 1 upon minus 1. So answer is minus 1. This is the easy way. Now sixth question is, so sixth one is done. Seventh one, I raised to minus 888. So this is I raised to 4 raised to minus 222. So this is 1 raised to minus 222. Or 1 raised to something is always 1. Now eighth one, I raised to 30 plus I raised to 40 plus I raised to 50 plus I raised to 60. So we can write down I raised to 4, it's a 28. Sorry, 4 sevens are 28 into I square plus I raised to 4 raised to 10 plus I raised to 4 raised to 12 into I square plus I raised to 4 raised to 15. So this becomes 1 raised to 7 into minus 1 plus 1 raised to 10 plus 1 raised to 12 into minus 1 plus 1 raised to 15. So this becomes minus 1 plus 1 minus 1 plus 1. Plus 1 minus 1 get cancelled to each other. Yeah, minus 1 plus 1 minus 1 plus 1. So this becomes 0. Okay. That is the end of question 7. Now, at 1, show that 1 plus I raised to 10 plus I raised to 20 plus I raised to 30 is a real number. Now see, this is 1 plus I raised to 4 raised to 2 into I square, 4 to the 8 plus to 10 plus I raised to 4 raised to 5 plus I raised to 4 raised to 7 into I square. 1 plus 1 square into minus 1 plus 1 raised to 5 plus 1 raised to 7 into minus 1. So this becomes 1 minus 1 plus 1 minus 1. So see, this plus 1 minus 1 plus 1 minus 1 get cancelled is equal to 0, which is a real number. This is the answer. Okay. Now ninth one. First is I raised to 49 plus I raised to 68 plus I raised to 89 plus I raised to 110. So this becomes I raised to 4 raised to 4 ones are 4 twos are into I plus I raised to 4. 4 ones are 4, 4 sevens are plus I raised to 4 raised to 2, 2 into I plus I raised to 4 2s are 4 sevens are 28 into I square. Okay, 4 2s are 330. Okay. Now see, this become 1 raised to 12 into I 1 raised to 17 plus 1 raised to 22 into I plus 1 raised to 27 into minus 1. So this becomes simply I plus 1 plus I minus 1. So 1 1 get cancelled. Answer is 2I. And in that, second question is I plus I square plus I cube plus I raised to 4. I is simply I square is minus 1, I cube is minus I raised to 4 plus 1. So plus I minus I cancel, minus 1 plus 1 cancel. Answer is simply 0. Now next question, 10th one. Simplify I raised to 592 plus I raised to 590 plus I raised to 588 plus I raised to 586 plus I raised to 584. I raised to 582 plus I raised to 580 plus I raised to 578 plus I raised to 576 plus I raised to 574. You can use that rule where you can take the power of I raised to 4 and simplify it. I will do other ways. The smallest value is I raised to 584. I will take it out as a common. So this is 84 plus 8 is 92. So this becomes I raised to 8 plus I raised to 6 plus I raised to 4 plus I raised to 2 plus I. Here you can take out I raised to 574. So again this becomes I raised to 8 plus I raised to 6 plus I raised to 4 plus I raised to 2 plus I. Now see this bracket and this bracket is same, so get cancelled out. Okay. Now this is 574 and this is 584. This is 574 get cancelled out. Only remains I raised to 10. Or you can write down like this: I raised to 584 minus 574. So this become I raised to 10. That is I raised to 4 into 2 into I square. This becomes 1 square. This is minus 1. The answer is minus 1.